the colors look even more realistic and leave no trace behind. So if you are seeing this image for the first time, you think that's how the image was shot, like there's no stray hair. So that's what I want to try to accomplish, which I think we did a perfect job. So this is the before and this is the after. Now the next I'm going to do right now. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another amazing video. My name is Tunde Victor. In this video I'm going to show you guys how I process my image in Capture One, and also how to remove those stray hair in Photoshop, and how to use the Liquify to make your image look even better. So let's get started. So this image was actually I think a retouching challenge on Instagram, but I really don't know the name of the photographer that shot this image. I think it's AOG Pixels, but I'm not really sure. So just let me know in the comment section. So the first thing I'm going to do for this image, I'm just going to crop this image 4:5 because that's what Instagram wants, and it's what I'm using for Instagram. So I'll just come to my crop tool right here, right click, and just click on ratio 4:5, and I'm just going to crop it like this. And I think I like it like this. I'll click on enter. So after that, I'm just going to come to my exposure tab, which I already am right now, and just come to my high dynamic range. In this my high dynamic range, I'm going to play with the shadows and the highlights. So I feel the highlights of this image is too much, and if you want to check your highlights warning in Capture One, just click on this exposure warning right here, and if the highlight is too much, you're going to get a red sign. So if I just increase the highlights, you can see I'm having, let me increase the exposure and see. So you can see those red sign right there. If your highlight is too much, you're going to be seeing those red signs once your exposure warning is turned on. But once you turn it off, you're not going to be seeing them. So I'm just going to undo what I just did and just go to the default and on my exposure warning. So you can see my exposure is looking good. So I'm just going to bring down the highlights a little bit. I think about 38. And after that, I'm just going to, I think, open up my shadows a little bit to +8, and just come to my levels adjustment layer, and just move my shadows inside a little bit to, let's say, -2 to the beginning of this wave right here. That's +2 to add a little bit of contrast to this image. And I'm just going to come to my highlights and just move it to the side a little bit to add a little bit of shine to the image. I think I like it like this. And you can see this image is looking good already from camera. I don't have to do much. So this is the before and this is the after. So I think I'm just going to push down the blacks inside a little bit like this. Okay, now next I'm going to do, I'm just going to work on the skin tone. I want to even out the skin to make the skin to look even, and to do that I'm just going to come to this my plus icon right here, right click, and just create a new empty adjustment layer. So I'm just going to click on it, and after that I'll come to my color tab right here, click on my color tab, and just scroll all the way down to color editor, and inside my color editor I'm going to say my skin tone. So once on my skin tone, I'll just click on this eye picker tool right here, and just click on any part of the skin which I want the rest part to look like. So I want the rest part of the skin to look like this part right here. So I'm going to click on it, and once I turn on this view selected color range, any parts that are selected are going to be colored, while the parts that are not selected are going to be black and white. So let me just show you that. So once I click on it, you can see the parts that are not selected are black and white, while the parts that are selected are colored. So next I'm going to do this smoothing. I'm going to take smoothing all the way down, and you can see the background now is not selected, but you can see the contouring and the eye shadows are selected. So I'm going to move this my red sliders up to remove the contouring, because I don't want the contouring to be selected. Also, I don't want her lips to be selected. I want just her skin. So I think I like it like this. I'm going to turn off this view selected color range to bring back those parts that are black and white. So next I'm going to do right now, just come to my uniformity, just move my hue all the way up, I think +17, come to my saturation, move it to +16 as well. So now that I have that, what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to open this image in Photoshop and just use Liquify and show you how to remove those stray hair. So to open your image in Photoshop, all you have to do is just right click on this part right here and just click on edit with Adobe Photoshop, and you can use 8-bit or 16-bit. So just use, I'm going to use 16-bit for the sake of this tutorial, and click on edit variants, and this image is going to export into Photoshop for me. Now that we have our image in Photoshop, I'm just going to duplicate my layer by clicking on Ctrl J or Command J if you are using a Mac, and I'm just going to remove this stray hair right here. As you can see, let me quickly show you that. I'm going to be removing this stray hair right here. So I'm just going to be removing them. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Let me just undo what I just did. So there are different ways to remove stray hair, but since this background is a seamless background, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it, and it works perfectly. So just create a new empty layer. So come to this plus icon, click on it, and you're going to have a new empty layer. I'm going to rename my layer here. So you can rename your layer to get to organize your retouching. So after I rename it here, I'll just pick my normal brush tool. I'll just press alternate to sample colors from a close by area. So once I click on alternate, I've sampled color from a close by area. So you can see this color that is sample is the color that's related to those areas which I want to fill. And since this is a seamless background, it's going to work fine. This method is going to work perfectly. So I'm going to increase my brush size and just paint on the hair which I want to remove, and make sure you're using a soft round brush. Make sure your hardness is set to 0, make sure your opacity is on 100, make sure your flow is on 100, and your smoothing is on 10, and just paint on a close by area like that. And remember to use your square bracket key to increase and decrease your brush size according to the place you're brushing on. And sample from close by area again, and just paint like that. Sample and paint on the hair which you want to remove, sample and paint. So just do that for the whole of this image, and you're going to have a perfectly, and you're going to have all the stray hair gone in no time. This method is fast and it's effective, and it's very easy to use. So if you have an image with a seamless background like this, I advise you use this method, or I recommend you use this method because it works faster and it works better. But there are other methods which you can also use, but like I said, this method works fine for me, and I'm going to be using it for this image. Okay, so let's see our before and after. This is the before and this is the after. This is before and this is the after. You can see it works like magic. Now this time I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick my mixer brush tool, and I'm just going to mix those edges just in case it's not looking as realistic as it should be. So I'm just going to use my mixer brush to mix them to make the colors look even more realistic and leave no trace behind. So if you are seeing this image for the first time, you think that's how the image was shot, like there's no stray hair. So that's what I want to try to accomplish, which I think we did a perfect job. So this is the before and this is the after. Now the next I'm going to do right now, I just want to use my Liquify to work on the face. I feel the face is looking too fat, so I'm just going to use Liquify to make it look a little bit slimmer and beautiful. So to do that, I'm just going to create a stamp visible layer by clicking on Ctrl Shift Alternate E or Command Shift Alternate E if you're using a Mac. And everything I just did below is in this my new layer right here. So I'm going to group those ones below. So I don't want all my layers to stack up, so I'm just going to group them to minimize my layers. So after that, what I'm going to do with my new subject layer selected, I'll come to my filter and I'll just convert for smart filter like this. And the reason why I convert to smart filter is so that after doing the Liquify, if I feel I want to go back and make any adjustment, I can easily go back and make adjustments. So I'll just come to my filter again and I'll click on Liquify. So once on my Liquify, I'll just click on this face icon right here, and it's going to show me this face shape right here on my screen. And if you're using a newer version of Photoshop and you don't have a graphics card, this option is not available. But if you're using I think from 2019 below, you can have this option even if you have a graphics card on your laptop. So once I have this face icon selected, I'll just come to my jaw and just move this part inside a little bit like this to make the face look a little bit slimmer. Remember, you don't have to overdo it. The point is to make the image look good and not change the face of the model. So I think it's okay like this, and I'm just going to come to the jaw and just move the jaw inside a little bit to make it look slimmer. And for the mouth, I'm just going to widen the mouth a little bit like this. And for the nose, I'll make the nose a little bit slimmer. And I think I'm going to leave the eyes like that. So let's see a before and after. This is the before, this is the after, before and after. Now this I'm going to do right now, I'll come to my forward warp tool. Once I click on my forward warp tool, I want to work on the hair a little bit to make it look even more realistic and look good. And for my pressure is on 10. You can use any pressure you want, but I prefer use a smaller pressure. I think I'm just going to be using 5. I'll use 5, and I'll just move this part inside like this. And remember to use your square bracket key to increase and decrease your brush size. I think I'm just going to move this part a little bit inside. I'll move here a little bit inside like that. Okay, just to make it look beautiful. I think the goal of this image is to make it look as realistic as possible and also as beautiful as it can be. Yeah, I think I like it like this. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we just straighten this out. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's looking good. Not looking bad at all. So I'll come to this other side. I think I'm going to move this part inside just to straighten it out. Let's give it bone straight. Okay, I think I like it like this. So let's see before and after. So these are before, after, before and after, before and after. Just a subtle change. I think for this shoulder right here, I'm just going to move the shoulder down a little bit, and I'll click on OK. Alright, let's see our before and after. These are before and after. And if I feel I make any mistake, or I feel I want to make a more adjustment, instead of just coming to filter and just click on liquify again, I can just click on liquify right here, and it's going to take me back to my liquify, and I can make any adjustments which I want to make. So that's why I converted it for smart filter. So I'm going to click on OK since I don't want to do anything. So let's see where we started from. This is where we started from. When we brought the image to Photoshop, and I just did the hair. I removed the straight hair, and I did a little bit of liquify. So I'll be doing a continuation of this retouching tutorial in my next video, because I don't want my videos to be too long. So in my next video, I'm going to be doing the skin retouching for this image, and I want to show you how to even out the skin, how to do your focal separation, and also how to color grade an image like this. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay creative.